You're listening to Cancer Convos with Brady and Stacy.
Hey there. Welcome to another edition of Cancer Convos with Brady and Stacy, sponsored by Chelsea Smith Cosmetics and the Bismarck Cancer Center. I'm Bob Brady.
I'm Stacy Sturm.
And we have a guest this week.
We do. It's not just us rambling on and complaining. We actually have somebody else that might ramble on and complain. It's Jesse. We brought Jesse into Cancer Convos. So,
Jesse.
Hello there.
Hello. So I saw Jesse on TikTok. I think everybody's seen Jesse on TikTok. Did you ever think your TikTok would blow up like it has, Jesse?
No, I didn't actually. So I'm originally a commercial photographer is what I do. And I started my TikTok for my photography. And I had a couple of things go kind of semi-viral with some time-lapse stuff that I did like 4 or 5 years ago. Before, it was like during the COVID stuff. Everything was on lockdown and I was out shooting photos of things and I was sharing some of that. I had a couple things went viral. And I started doing that, but then all of a sudden I got this cancer diagnosis and I decided I've always been a pretty open person about the things I'm dealing with. And I decided to kind of share some of the things I was going through with it. And a lot of people really related to it. So I just kept going with it. And it has kind of grown into what it is now. I'm like 100 followers shy of like 90,000 now. And, and it's fun. It is. It's hard to keep up with it because I'm not the best at like social media stuff, but it's been fun. So
yeah, I think unfortunately the cancer community is a very, very big community. And so yeah. And TikTok, the algorithm, once that comes across your feed, they all come across your feed.
And I have a lot to say about that stuff too, but I have my opinions on those things and things they call deficiency promotion, where if you're showing you're going through a hard time, you're going to get more follows and views, and it just it reaffirms that. And sometimes I have a hard time when I make my positive content about accepting things and getting through, and it doesn't get seen, but yet someone who's struggling will get thousands and thousands and viral stuff, and it's like, yeah, but who's actually doing better right now is the hard part, and it's like it's tough sometimes to do that. But the way I always think of it is if my video only gets seen by 1,000 people, but one person hears that message and it helps them, then it's worth it to me.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole going viral thing that's just, you get too caught up in that.
Yeah, you get too focused on the numbers to actually worry about connecting with people. And I love what you do. It resonates with me and Bob. We're both pretty positive, I think, on what's going on with our lives because I want to be positive with me, but I also want to bring positivity to people because there is so much negativity out there. Cancer is can be such a dark journey and such a dark thing. But tell us how you were diagnosed. Tell us what you have and how you were diagnosed.
Yeah, so I have stage 4 colon cancer with metastatic tumors to the liver, adrenal gland, and my spot on my right lung. When I got diagnosed in 2021, actually through the COVID stuff, I never got COVID, but I had symptoms that were similar to where I had like fevers and chills and exhaustion. And I got multiple COVID tests all throughout 2020 thinking that's what it was, but it never came up positive. And it would be like 2 or 3 days where at the end of the day, I was so incredibly tired, exhausted. And then I would get these full body chills. So I'd take a hot shower, then a chill would turn into a fever. The fever would break. I'd sweat all night and I'd wake up in the morning in a pool of sweat and be like, what the heck was that about? Then I'd go on with my day. And I just thought I was tired or exhausted or dehydrated and didn't think anything of it. That went on for like 6-7 months. And then finally, in November, right around Thanksgiving, I started having a lot of pressure right here in my like liver area and intestinal area. And I was having this, I remember I was with my girlfriend and we were walking around Target and I was just like, oh God. And we were shopping for pre-Thanksgiving stuff. And I made this beautiful Thanksgiving dinner and I couldn't eat because I took a bite or two and I was full and I had to go lay down. I was in pain. And she pushed me and she's like, you need to go in. And I'm like, no, I'll be fine. And then on December 23rd, it got really bad. And she kicked my ass to go into a walk-in clinic and they took some blood and saw that like my liver enzymes were like through the roof, like 3-4 times what they should be. And I had all this swelling going on right here in this area of my body. And they referred me to a gastroenterologist. It still took me like 2.5 weeks after Christmas and holidays to actually go in. And I was on a job as a photographer, and I was shooting some airplanes, and I just had this doubled over. Oh my, what the heck? So I went and I called in that gastroenterology thing, and luckily they had a spot that day, and I went in and talked, and she poked and prodded, and she had me go in for a CT scan to see what was going on, to see if it was an infection or something like that. CT scan came back and showed that there were just lesions all over the liver. So 2 days later, I had a biopsy. Biopsy came back on January 18th and confirmed that it was metastatic tumors on the liver coming from colorectal. And I then went in and had a colonoscopy. They found the primary tumor. I had a PET scan, CT scan, and or I had that CT and then I had another PET scan. Basically diagnosed stage 4 colon cancer, innumerable mets of liver. 85% of my liver was covered in tumors. And that's where my symptoms were coming from, was the fact that my liver was about to shut down. And it was just, I mean, it was terrible. And I do this all the time in my, and I don't know, I know people are listening, but I think you guys push this on video and stuff too, right? Like this was my first, this was my first, if this will focus, that was my first PET scan of my liver.
That is all lit up.
So completely like that. And then this is the kind of the black and white to show the sizes of them.
That's crazy.
So this being my heart over here.
Yeah.
That's how big the tumors were. Basically 85% of the surface area of my liver was cancerous tumors. And it was, my first oncologist said, you have about a 10% chance of making it a year if you don't do something about this now. So I did. I got on it and got on chemo and got after it. But the funny thing is like with colon cancer, I didn't have any of the other colon cancer symptoms. I didn't have blood in the stool. I didn't have the digestive issues. I didn't have any of those problems. It was all based off the fact that my liver was about to shut down. If my liver didn't have that, I'd have just kept going and kept living life and it wouldn't even know any difference.
Yeah.
So, and I probably wouldn't be here.
And you've been doing treatment since, though, haven't you? Like you've been doing treatment for like years and years and years and years.
Just today, well, just a few minutes ago, I just left the cancer center and had my 66th round of chemo, the pump taken off. So I'm still continuing to do it. And I've done 66 rounds of chemo. I've had 2 abdominal surgeries. I've had 5 different liver ablations. I've had internal Y90 radiation done on my liver. I've had all of those things, and I'm going to continue to do whatever's available to me to keep fighting for this life that I have.
Do they have a number of how many treatments you have to do?
Is there a number?
Yeah.
As many as it takes.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a lot of people go into it. And one of the things that, it's a hard thing to tell people when they get diagnosed and they go in, because they say, oh, I just have to do 6 rounds. It's like, no, you have to do 6 rounds and then scan and test.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you may have to do more. And when you get in this, sometimes you have to settle in and just realize that, you can look towards a future of possibly being done, but you have to stay in the now. You have to stay in, I'm doing this treatment now, and the next one will come when it comes, because you don't know, I tell people all the time, there's 2 truths in life. You can't have a better past, and the future doesn't exist. So you don't know what's going to happen between now and tomorrow and the future. So you have to do what you can today. And that means if this is your 6th treatment, your 7th treatment, great, get it done. You don't know if you're done after this, or you don't know if you got 25 more to go.
Correct.
You just don't, but you have to be willing to do it.
And that's the thing. I think people get into that I guess that thought process of, hey, I have, like you said, 6 rounds of chemo to do, but you still got to get scanned. Like I've had thyroid cancer since 2014. But it spread. So into my lungs, into my liver, into my kidneys, into my stomach. And it's just, right now, my numbers are stable. They've been stable for the last 3 or 4 scans. But that doesn't mean, like I take a daily chemo pill, but that doesn't mean in the next scan, it's not going to blow up somewhere else. And that's where you said, you got to stick with it. You can't just, okay, I'm fine. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Well, and I think so many people also, they future trip. So what they do is they think about like how they are today, if it's a bad day today, and then they just keep carrying that on. You know what I mean? Like I've had, when I was going through my chemo, I would have 5 really good treatments, and then, I'd have a doozy, and it was just a day. But then I thought, well, that's today. I might be fine. And sure enough, like I would be fine the next 2. And then they might have to hold me because my white count was too low, or give me that cell booster shot that absolutely, okay. So people don't talk about that enough. And when they gave it to me, they're kind of like, you're going to have a little bit of pain. No, sir. I had a lot of pain, and it did not go away for days and days and days. It was the worst pain I think I ever had. It's literally a bone pain.
The new
Your back, yes. Oh God, I hated it so much.
Just had that one done today too.
But it saves you, you get your white counts back up. You can continue treatment. But I tell people, I'm like, don't get stuck in that muck for today. Tomorrow's a whole new day. You can't future trip about what your treatments or what your life is going to be. You just can't do that.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We have today. Tomorrow's not promised. We have today, and you have to do the best. Yeah, the new Neulasta shot. I just got that done. And for people that don't know, it goes into your bone marrow, and it basically triggers your bone marrow to release more white blood cells to help with your immune system, because the chemo tears your immune system down so much. And one of the side effects from it is basically bone and joint pain, like deep inside, because your bones are producing like white blood cells. They're trying to get that in. And it's funny, is a couple months ago, I had a thing where this panitumumab I'm on causes this red skin and rash, and I had a breakout right around my port, and we thought that it was like an infection around my port. So when I went in and they did some blood work, they saw that my white blood cell was like through the roof, like I had an infection. And I was in a hospital. They threw me in the emergency room, like, oh my God, what's going on? And then I remembered, wait, I just had the Neulasta shot done 2 days ago. So I didn't have an infection, but it mimicked an infection because of how high my white blood cell count was. But yeah, the thing is, I do a lot of what's called Stoic philosophy. And one of the things is there's a lot of old Stoic philosophers and stuff, and they have some really great quotes you can do. But one of them is like, if it can be endured, then endure it and stop complaining. And I know that sounds harsh, and I know that some people won't take that the right way. But the truth is, you get the shot for the white blood cells. It causes some bone and joint pain. It's not hurting you. Like, you're not hurting yourself if you still continue to move and live your life. It's just a little painful. You just have to kind of deal with it. And it goes away and you continue going on. And a lot of the stuff we go through with this, even though there's long-term effects that come from it, a lot of it is very manageable if you just look at it as just something you have to do.
Yeah.
And people tend to tie a lot of emotion into the things they're going through with the chemos and the side effects and stuff like that. And if you pull the emotion out of it, just look at it as, I just have to do this, then you can find a way to get through it and find a way to make it the best that you can, regardless of how you have to feel as you're going through it.
So you went through all these treatments. You said 66, you're not going to stop. What's the prognosis now? Anything different?
So right now, I just had, about 3 weeks ago, I had a spot right here, dead center in the middle on my liver, ablated. It was the last live tumor I had in my body. But my CEA numbers are still hovering at around mid-20s, which means there's still a concentration of cancer cell, material in my blood, which has the possibility of settling somewhere else. So now we're back on the chemo to try to clean the blood out and see if I can get it done. But as of my last PET and CT scan, I didn't have any other live tumors in my body. So I went from having,
that's great,
all over the place. I had one on my adrenal gland about 6 months ago, and that's resolved. I had one on my right lung, but that one seems to have resolved as well. Whether they come back or not, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to. I don't know. I can't live my life in the what ifs. I live my life in the even ifs. Like, even if it does, I'll figure it out then. But as of right now, I mean, I'm on four more rounds of this panitumumab with FOLFIRI, and then I'll do another scan kind of end of October, early November. We'll see what's there. We'll kind of keep going with that. Maybe take a little break, let myself build up. If I got to do more chemo, then I'll do more chemo. If I got to do another surgery, then I'll do another surgery. Whatever I have to do, I'll do, because this is my life and I want to fight for it because I love it too much.
So what's been the hardest part of your treatments, do you think?
And
it can be physical, it can be mental, it can be anything.
It's a combination. I mean, to be honest, it's a combination. It's a roller coaster that you go through. The physical, the emotional, it hits you from every single angle. The hardest part in the physical has been coming to terms with the fact that I am never going to be as strong as I was before I got started. And the things that I like to do that I've done over the last couple of years in between my treatments, which was mountain biking and working out hard and lifting weights and doing those things, I don't have the strength to do it anymore. And now my kidneys, which just happened to me over the last couple of weeks, Now my kidneys have become so sensitive that when I go work out like I liked to, this is just a recent thing, and it's one of the hardest things I've had to deal with, is I can't do the workouts and things I like to anymore because the proteins in my muscles release and it clogs my kidneys, and I go into a exercise-induced rhabdomyolysis almost every time now. And so I have to now adjust my life and my workouts to something that's more mild and something that's more like yoga and things like that, which I've done before in the past, but it's like, I want to go get on my mountain bike and just ride and just sweat and do that. I can't do that.
No.
So the physical changes of the overall strength and like the muscle density, that's been a really hard one for me because I've always been a strong person, and to basically be told you can't do something because your muscles just can't do it, has been tough. Emotionally, for me, I've always been really good at the whole, accepting things for the way they are. I've been working on this Stoic philosophy for many years, even prior to the cancer. Cause like when I got my diagnosis, I didn't hit my knees and say, oh my God, why me? I just went, oh, well, crap, I have this, nothing I can do to change that. What are we going to do about it? So mentally and psychologically, I've always been pretty strong through it. But what I'm struggling with right now is partial survivor's guilt of the fact that I'm here and I've gone from such a terrible diagnosis to being basically beating the odds as of right now, even though I still have cancer, beating the odds right now. And then watching other people who maybe fought as hard that aren't here anymore. And saying, why did I get to do this and they didn't? Or, that aspect. And then the other aspect of it that I'm struggling with, the emotional side of it, is just watching people who I see, like in the last 2 weeks, I have seen 5 people who are no longer here. 3 of them fought with me on the whole natural treatment versus actual medical treatment, and they're no longer here. And the other 2 were people who started off strong, but then I watched their emotional, how do I put this? Their emotional regression. I watched how they went from, they had a bad test result and it took them downhill, and then their entire emotional state just kind of fell off and they faded away. And it kind of shows how fragile and how we walk this line. We walk this line of we're strong, we're strong, we're strong. And then something bad happens or you don't get a result that you want. And some people will just say, well, that's it, I'm done. Instead of saying, hey, you know what, this is just a minor setback. I need to keep going, because I don't know if this bad test result just means, it just means it's just right now, or if this is going to trend and do this. But I see people and I want to help them and say, hey, no, come on, pick it up. Let's go. Let's go. You got more than this. Let's go. You can keep going. And that's something that I struggle with, is watching more other people. Me, myself, personally, I don't have a lot of the emotional roller coaster stuff. I have some anger issues here and there, but I've learned how to kind of deal with them. And a lot of that is just understanding myself better. But yeah, as far as the most difficult thing, I'd have to say, for me, it's the physical. It's the physical of not being able to be the person that I was before, and accepting that this is the person I am now.
So what keeps you moving forward? What keeps you going?
My life.
Yeah.
My life. I tell people, there's a book that I think every cancer patient in the world you should read, and it's Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And basically what it is, you have to give meaning to your life. What are you fighting for? Nietzsche said, he who has a why can bear almost any how. If you have a reason you're fighting for, you have something you're fighting for, you'll do whatever you can for it. Now, for me, my purpose, my meaning for life is life itself. I love every experience I could ever possibly hope to have. I love the waking up in the morning and seeing the sunrise. I love the cup of coffee. I love the cool breeze of the fall. I love, everything. I love the people that I know and the experience. I love the failures that I've learned from. Like every aspect of life, I love too much to say, you can't have this cancer. Like cancer, you can't have my life. Like I still get to live it regardless of that. So that's what keeps me going, is the fact that I don't know what tomorrow holds for me, and I'm excited for what tomorrow holds for me, even if it's something hard that I have to deal with, because I'm going to get a chance to prove to myself that I can get through something else. So for me, that's what it is. For other people, to get through these kind of things, you have to find what it is. It could be your family, it could be loved ones, could be your career, could be, like I said, could be just waking up every morning and having a routine, a cup of coffee that you love, and you're like, that's mine. And I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to fight for this life because I love that. Doesn't matter what it is. It's unique to everybody, but you have to find it if you want to keep fighting through this stuff.
Now, did you have that before? Because I noticed I took a lot of things for granted before my diagnosis, like sitting on the porch and drinking my coffee and just enjoying the sun or enjoying the trees or the wind or watching my dog run in the yard. Or like before, I just didn't even think about that stuff. I'd let the dog out. I went inside, did some stuff, come back, get the dog. But after my diagnosis, it was just so great to just sit on the porch, feel the sun, drink your coffee. Like that's, I think, the one good part. People are like, is there any good parts that you could see from your cancer? And that for sure is one of them. Or I look at the fact, like a lot of the things I look at now, I used to look at, I have to do this. And now I look at, I get to do this. So I know there's a lot of people going through cancer journeys who are bedridden or who have been really, really sick or have been in the hospital for a good portion of their cancer journey. And I was not. And I think part of it is a lot of just piss and vinegar, just like refusing to sit down, refusing to change my life too much. But I look at a lot of the things now as I get to do this, and the alternative would have been so much worse. So I think there is an appreciation that I got with the cancer diagnosis I didn't have before.
Yeah. See, I have one that I'll add to that.
Yeah.
And I did a video on this a couple weeks ago, and it's the I have to versus I get to. There's one in between that a lot of people skip. It's I choose to.
Yeah.
And what I like to tell people is be proud of your choices. Like if you're choosing to fight, be proud of that. Like there's the I have to if I want to save my life, and then there's the I get to because I'm in a position where I can. But in between those, it's I have to, so I'm going to choose to do it. And now I get to do it. And we have to focus on that because everything that we do in life is a choice. Every single thing we do is a choice. And if you're going to fight, if you're going to fight through this, you're making that choice to fight. We need to be proud of that choice. You started asking, like, did I have this before? I'm a photographer. I'm a commercial photographer. I've been doing that since I retired from baseball about 13, 14 years ago. And I love the beauty of the world. So before that, I had this kind of a connection with experiences that has kind of years ago, I had a lot of issues, a lot of anger issues. I had a lot of things in my head. I tried to control things that are out of my control. I was always in anxiety. I had a lot of stress. This was prior to any cancer stuff. It was 10, 12 years ago before anything else. Had a lot of issues I had to deal with. And I was working with therapists, and she kind of slowed me down a little bit to basically slow down and smell the flowers. And I started to understand about the things that I enjoyed, and taking that extra moment to feel that burn of the sunset, to feel that, that taste of the coffee, to notice those things that we do overlook and we take for granted. And then when getting diagnosed with cancer, it's like, oh, wow, now all of that stuff I love to do is even threatened even further. So I really want to pay attention to those things. And it slows you down to where your time, you focus more on where your time goes. You focus more on who you give your energy to. You start to learn more about yourself to where, and these are the good things that come from this. Having a terrible disease like cancer, but the good things are if you pay attention to it, you can make your life more streamlined. You can get rid of the things that are unnecessary in your life so that you can focus on the things that you have to do. You got friends that are causing drama and doing all this. You'd be like, you know what? I got more important things to worry about. And you can free your mind from the extra stuff that we add to it. Like we suffer, we cause ourselves so much suffering by the things that we put our attention to. And if we remove those things and focus just on our life and what we can do the best for us, you're going to go farther. You're going to do better. And doing, like you said, like understanding and focusing on the things that you love and that you took for granted before, they're going to build up, and that's going to add to your meaning of why you're going to get through this, because you don't want that taken away from you. So
the things that matter.
Yeah.
The things that matter.
The things that matter shift and they change as you go through this.
Yeah. So, how can people find you on your socials? Where we got you?
You can look up Jesse KFG on TikTok. KFG standing for that right there. Keep effing going.
I love that. Yeah, that's great. And, that's a good reminder.
I just you can look for me on TikTok. I mostly do everything on TikTok. You can see this setup that I have here. I was starting to do kind of a YouTube thing with podcasting and this. I just haven't had a chance to really get involved with it. A lot of the topics I was doing, like I said, I'm writing a book. A lot of things that I don't even said that. I'm actually writing a book based off of the whole KFG thing. It's going to be called Keep Effing Going. And it's all the Stoic philosophy mindset, the acceptance mindset of just, you have to accept where you're at. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. A lot of the topics I'm going to talk about in the book, I do on my social media. Mostly it's on TikTok right now. I will be putting in I had a chat with a social media person the other day, and they're like, you have to cross platform everything. And now I'm like, oh, great. I wish I could afford to just hire some kid to do it for me. But the best place to find me right now, if you want to see my message and all this, is on TikTok. It's Jesse KFG. And then you can find me there. As a photographer, it's J Allen Paul, JALANPAUL. And you can go to my website and see some of the photography work that I do. I'm mostly commercial work and artistic work and things like that. And I do video and all that fun stuff. So I will be doing more YouTube things. I will be doing more content and stuff if I can find the mental capacity to do it amongst all the work that I still have to do to pay the bills. Because, I may be an influencer, but I'm an influencer in a way that I help people get through something a really hard time, but my TikTok and my social media doesn't make me any money. So it's like, I do it for the love of helping people, not because it's like, oh, I'm an influencer. I had one video, I had like 1.5 million views, and I think I got paid like $350 for it.
Right. Yeah. I think people think it's way more than it is.
No, I barely can make a truck payment with everything I make on social media,
Yeah.
So it is what it is. It's just, it's a means to share a message and help other people.
And it is hard when you're self-employed too, because it's like you don't have that regular check coming in. I know the same thing with the radio station. Like whatever I sell, that's when I get paid. And that's a lot of stress, and it's hard to do too. It was a blessing and a curse when I was going through cancer treatments, because I could map out my own schedule for the most part, but I didn't have money coming in. Like
I'm living.
You still had to work. You still had to work
right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. Yeah. So.
Well, Jesse, thank you for your time. Thanks for the story, man. And good luck with everything. I mean, we're all in this together.
Anytime you guys want to do this again, I'm more than happy to jump on and do this. If I ever start up mine, I'll see if you guys want to come on mine and do that. One of these days I'll start it up and do podcast type stuff like this when I get a chance. I've got the setup.
You got it.
You do.
I got the setup.
You got a great setup.
I'm running my pro camera into an audio, into a microphone, into all this. I got the setup. I just don't have I have the setup and the motivation. I just don't have the bandwidth for it at the moment.
Well, so that's what I do for a living is social media stuff, social media promotion. We will have a chat. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm going to tell you the easiest way for you to do that. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to give you some programs. I'm going to give you some stuff where you can post once and post 20 times. You know what I mean? So I'm going to hook you up and try to save you some mental bandwidth. I'm going to try to save you some mental bandwidth on this.
That would be fantastic. It would make my life so much easier.
For sure.
Because I'm also I am a paralysis by overanalysis I suffer from. And I won't put something out unless I think it's perfect. And I'm trying to ease that off to be like, hey, you know what? Just put it out. Just get the content out. And then also, I try to make sure it's hard. I don't like giving up the control to anybody on this stuff. It's like, I want to make sure I edit it. I want it to sound how I want it. I want this.
Yep.
And maybe I need to just let go of some of that control.
That's how Stacey and I did a #1 radio show where you didn't care. We just did the show.
Yeah.
We didn't stop and think. It was pretty apparent to the audience. We did not stop and think about a lot of that stuff.
But those are the best radio shows. I mean,
they were.
Those are the
they
best.
Were pretty good.
I mean, I was raised on like the Bob and Tom stuff from back in the day. Yeah. Remember all those and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Here's a funny, the station in California, KLOS?
Yep.
Okay, so my mom was actually the program director for KLOS back in like the late 70s.
Wow.
So she did that. And my dad was a musician in the 60s and 70s, a group called Rare Earth.
Oh, yeah. I just want to celebrate. Yeah.
I just want to celebrate, get ready.
Great
my dad was the
group,
lead singer and drummer for Rare Earth.
No way.
So I grew up
That's
on
crazy.
the radio. And my mom always said I had a face for radio, but you know,
so do I.
Yeah, grew up in the radio, grew up around all that stuff, and I love listening to good radio shows, and just the ones that are not. I know they're all scripted to a point, but the ones that have the freedom to just go off and do it are just some of the best.
We were
100%.
not scripted, and we beat the hell out of Bob and Tom.
Yeah, we did.
Did you?
Yes,
we did.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to some of your old stuff.
Yeah.
I used to love a lot of that. It was so much fun.
Our philosophy was Bob and Tom were syndicated, so they couldn't do anything locally. We did all local. So we were in Bismarck and Mandan, and everything was local. We just nailed the local, and we beat the hell out of them every time. They tried, but they failed.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was many
great.
moons ago.
I'm glad. I love that. I absolutely love radio and all this stuff, because it's tough to get on and talk and make people laugh just with your voice over the radio, you know?
Yeah. It's
so that's a talent. I love that.
Hey, Cancer Convos is sponsored by Chelsea Smith Cosmetics and the Bismarck Cancer Center. Jesse, again, thank you so much for your time. Have a great week, my man.
Hey, I will do my best. You guys do the same. Thank you for having me.